evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen. I am Rich, and this is Tuesday. This is the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. As we always do, I'm here and happy to hang out with you guys. This is our live show that's all about home labs. It's all about self-hosting. It's all about just hanging out with a bunch of like-minded nerd people and having good conversations. The chat, as always, is out of control. And there, I'm gonna name names because I think that's okay. There's a gentleman named Allison who is always, as soon as I do the scheduling for the live show and it gets sent out to the interwebs and all over the YouTubes and whatnot, he's always the first to message. So, followed by Sakura, followed by everybody else. But we've got a chat full. We got Levix, we got Jason, we got Terry. Terry's telling us all about how he's apprehending people doing illegal credit card things, which is always interesting. So let's get this background music turned down a little bit because it is loud in my ears. Cool. Anyway, let's get our housekeeping out of the way. So first things first, I think I already mentioned this is the place to talk about home labs, talk about self-hosting, talk about anything you've seen in the channel, questions you might have in terms of like virtualization or enterprise, whatever. Like if you want to pick my brain, I'd love to talk to you. Last week was a banger of a show. A lot of good conversations. I'm going to touch on a few things from last week. In this week, we have a Discord. I get 2 times in the show to pimp the Discord. Can I say that these days? I don't know if that's okay. But our Discord is where the community is. And that's the thing that I like to tell people. It's free. You join it, you hang out, you talk to people who like technology, self-hosting, that kind of stuff. And after the live show, I hop in and hang out. And so if you want to talk to me in person, there's usually a good group of people in there always chatting away. So feel free to come hang out. The link's in the place so you can get all the links. So go do the links and stuff. And 2 more things. My producer, I usually have my friend and helper, Brandon. He is still not here. He just got married. So he's on, I guess, a honeymoon. I don't know if you call it that. He's off. So we'll see him. I think next month we're going to see Brandon again. And lastly, look at this beard. Look at this. Terry was giving me, Terry in the chat was giving me crap earlier, but like, I got it shaved today. I haven't ever told you guys the secret to having a beard. This is the only secret. It's not about whether you can grow a nice beard or that you've got the genetics. I mean, obviously I don't have the genetics on top, right? That stuff left in my 20s. But, it's the secret to a nice beard isn't a bunch of product. It isn't a bunch of stuff. It is just getting it trimmed by somebody who isn't you. That's the answer. So, because if you let it go, you just look homeless. And so, anyway, let's get to the show. So, I like to try to start the shows with I don't know, basically a personal story. And this is something I think that I want to point out because I felt bamboozled. I felt tricked, hornswoggled. Am I hornswoggled? Is that the right word? I don't know. Anyway, forgive me if it's not. I'm just making up words. And if that's not a word, TM, I own it. A couple days ago, I got up early to do some stuff, and I was reading the news, as you do, as any one of us does, reading the tech news in the mornings. Oh, look, and Google, I have a little, like, I'm sure you guys do too, like, my default, like, page on my phone in Chrome is like a bunch of news that's been Google put together for me to like, it's my Google News. And there was an article on there. And so just to show you this article because it popped up and it got me. It got me, friends. I was gotten. Add this to stage. Okay. So it's not really important that we talk about the article because the article is like, I was reading this article. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like Broadcom acquisition of VMware, a bubble in the AI infrastructure play. And I'm reading this and I'm like, this is an interesting article. Like it's got a lot of interesting points, but I'm starting to read it more and more. And I'm like, there's something weird. Something feels off. Something just doesn't feel right. Like a little, I wrote in my notes how I describe it as a little left of center, if that makes any sense. So, and I'm reading through and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And I get to the bottom and I'm like, this still doesn't feel right. There's something weird about this article, but I can't put my finger on it. So I scroll back up to the top of the article. When I get to the top of the article, I look at the author, Philip Carter, but it's a picture of a lady. Now look, I'm not saying that Philip couldn't be a woman. I'm progressive enough. I'm hip enough. I don't care what you call yourself, but this didn't feel right. And then I was reading the tagline underneath this. Philip Carter is an AI-driven bond mar, and I'm like, I. All of a sudden, I had this realization. I think I can figure out what this is. So I click on it, and no, we're not going to log into this. No way you're getting my creds. Philip Carter is an AI-driven bond market and fixed income analyst with a 32 billion parameter model. Philip focuses on interest rates, credit markets, and debt dynamics. Her audience includes bond investors, policymakers, and institutional analysts. Philip's personality is steady, technical, and precise. Her stance emphasizes the centrality of... these ads that keep popping up are just killing me. The centrality of debt markets in shaping economies. Her purpose is to make fixed income analysis accessible with highlighting both risks and opportunities. Her style is technical, disciplined, and clear. She is not real. She's not real. But apparently she has a great personality. She's steady, technical, and precise. And this is where I had this moment. Like, I'm sitting here, I was on a couch, if it matters. I wasn't like on the can, so to speak. But I was on the couch and I was just like, I just spent, I don't know, 5 minutes. All fairness, it's like 10 minutes with reading the article and then doing this super sleuth thing. And I just had this realization. It's like, it's all garbage. It's all trash. Instantly, for me, the article became meaningless because it's not real. Yep. So Leavix had a good point here. He said, we're just going to be reading AI slop only in 5 years max. These ads, bro. Anyway, he's right. Leavix is right. It's just, this is our future, friends. And it was just like, it hurt me so bad. Mostly because I felt bamboozled. Hornswoggled. I'm sorry. I know that's dumb to say it, but there's got to be synonyms for hornswoggled. Tricked, deceived, fooled, snookered, gulled, kid, hoodwinked, misled. That was me. I was all those things, and I felt so dumb. I was like, I can't believe this. I can't. And so it made me think, like, I feel like every week on the show, we should add a new segment, which is just, rest in peace, journalism. Pour one out. Pour out your Diet Dr. Pepper. Actually, this is 0 sugar Dr. Pepper, which is superior to Diet Dr. Pepper. Anyway, okay, that's it. Enough of showing you those ads because I'm not getting a cent for that. I feel like every week on the show, we should do a segment, and that segment should be AI slop because it got me. It got me good, and I felt dumb. I felt wronged. That's just not. This is what we've come to, friends. This is how it's going. So let's move on because my style is also technical, disciplined, and clear. That's gonna be my new tagline. I'm a 32 billion parameter model or person. 32 billion. I don't know how many parameters I would have. Making it, there you go. Leavix is right. I'm going to do that. Leavix, we'll create an AI slop channel in Discord, and best one of the week gets highlighted in the stream. That's a beautiful idea. AI slop. It's killing me, guys. It's just killing me. Anyway, let's move on because I want to talk about I want to talk about a few things. I don't know if Terry's back from washing his children. That's what he said he was doing in the chat, because he's the one that asked for something, and I wanted to show him something that I did. But let's talk about this first, because I can't not talk about this. This is doing great, guys. I just want to say, as taking a step back and saying, this has got to be, or is shaping up to be, probably the best giveaway that I think I've ever run, and no in small port to you guys. Okay, that was good to know. And so far it's exceeded any of the historical giveaways, but I mean, it was much smaller of a channel, so giveaways don't end up going that far. But 18 days left. I'm thinking in 3 more days I'm sorry, Aragorn, I had to start without you. You got to learn how to, got to set an alarm. That's what I have to do. Calendar events. Anyway, so let's talk about this a little bit, just because I want to talk about it. I need to talk about it. It's important to me. So I did want to show you a little bit behind the scenes. If you guys want to see some like the cool stuff behind the scenes, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, this is the back end of Gleam, and Castle's probably better. Everyone, you should probably just watch that instead of me. But so just want to show you guys, like, so far what we've gotten. We've gotten a grand total of, where's it at? It showed me earlier. Oh, there we go. 364 individuals. That's great, dude. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. That is super cool. One thing I wanted to show you is, like, there's 154 invalid actions not showing. Because remember, I told you guys last week that Gleam does a bunch of stuff to catch the people. And so this has been, but look at that big old peak right there. I'm not sure what that peak was. I wish I knew where people come from, but my locations are US, because of course it's US, because it's only available in the US. But yeah, you know, it's you can see all the actions because we have an audience watching here. I wanted to, this guy, this is the website. If you were the, I encourage everyone to get in on the giveaway, but I've been asked repeatedly, where's the secret code? Where's your secret code? And I'm gonna give you, Alexandria, welcome. I'm gonna give you a hint where the secret code is. It is, because I had somebody, kid you not. So back to this, because I am talking about this. Someone asked me, like a friend of mine, who was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do the giveaway. Where's the secret code?" And I'm like, "It's on the website." And he finally finds it. He finally finds the secret code, and he says to me, he's like, "You know, I was pulling like text records off of DNS. You know, I was getting your DNS records to see if it was somewhere hidden there. Like, I was all over the place. Aragorn view source. Yeah, you don't even have to do that. If you were to like just look at just highlight this block of text, friends, and you'll find the super secret. And it's really, once you find it, you're like, oh my God, lazy. Because I was trying to be lazy. But it's in there, and you can view the source too. If you view the source, you'll find it. But it's not like I say anywhere in the source, this is it, welcome to it. But anyway, this I still have the thingy on here. There was a way I could do the QR code. Oh, mobile. Yes, well. At any rate, so this is taken off. 25 people have found the secret code, though, which is awesome. And anyone who's watching this, just go here and do something. Hiding in plain sight is the best way. I wonder, so Alexandria said, I'm just interested. They said, put it in ChatGPT and ask to find it. I mean, what? I never said that. So the question is I just want to know, did it find it? It did. You know what? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna spoil my own thing here. Okay, so open up OpenAI.com. We're going to the OpenAIs. All right. Is that large enough? Let's increase. Enhance. Go here. And find the secret code on the web page. Here, let's see if it works. Ready? Okay. Oh my God, I found it right there. Oh, that's so lazy. Oh, I'm going to close that. Oh, the secret's out, friends. That's awesome. Yeah, so Alexandria, they're on it. They got it right on. That was good. Good super sleuthing. Lazy as I am, I would say that was equally as lazy. Foiled by AI, just like earlier. Anyway, so I'll TLDR in this AI for the win. Thank you, ACP. Yeah, they knew it. So this has been great. I sure hope you guys sign up. If you chat's laughing at me. That's fine. I deserve that. I totally just ruining everything, isn't it? Leavix, everything. At any rate, if you haven't signed up, go sign up. Share it with everybody. You can find it. I have it everywhere, but I just super happy with it. It's going great. Which leads me to the next part that I wanted to specifically. One of the things that was brought up by actually Terry, who's in our audience, is like, well, it should have your logo on it. It should have got Two Guys Tech. Yeah, ACP. If only it could give us the feature winning lotto numbers. Yes, and then predict thought crime and then put us in jail. Minority Report. Anyway, so Terry had said it should have a logo on it. It should have the Two Guys Tech logo, 2GT logo on it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's tough. And so I did a thing, and I want to show you the thing. I'm gonna hopefully this doesn't make a whole bunch of noise. I have it muted, I think. I'm running the show this week, so as you can imagine, it's a little chaotic. There, it's my camera on my phone. So that's what I've come up with so far. And this is where I could definitely use some input and opinions from you guys. So this is just the panel, right? And you can see the moire effect there is caused because of the thing. Zoom in, it's just this 2GT. And, to compare it, like I said, I just hit the button and went back because that's what I do around here. I'm a professional. Let's go back to this. Mute that and enter studio. Boop. And okay. So there you go. See this like this. Here's like a regular panel, right? And so this just sits on there. So whoever wins it can be branded or not branded, so to speak. And I'm fine with either of those things. I want whoever wins it, to enjoy it and not be like, oh, I gotta look at this guy's logo. Ew. Like, I'm not a fan of logos, even though I've got logos all over me. They're my logos. It's different when they're my logos. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. I would love to know with you guys in the chat if you think that looks good, if you want something better, if you think it should be better. I'm a big fan of people's opinions. Like, this is not a solo game. I like it. Plops 4. Oh my gosh. Plops 4 being tricksy with I'm not sure what you mean by that. Plops 4. But needs RGB. Well, I'll leave that up to you. I have gone through the RGB phase in life, friends. I used to build computers, and every computer I still build computers, but when I would build my PCs, it would be computer would be half of the build and RGB would be the second half. So needs more cowbell. There we go. I have a fever that can only be cured with more cowbell. Right, Christopher Walken. Yeah, RGB is a divisive statement. I feel like there's an age, and the age that happens for everybody is different, but we all kind of go through those age ranges of computer hardware where eventually we hit I no longer want my case to look like a casino, and you want just something that's blacking or, but just a single color. The only light you want to see is a flashing hard disk indicator, and that's about it. So yeah. So, I mean, and Aragorn says RGB has an off switch. Absolutely. But you could also not put RGB into it and save some money too. So I reached that age, I guess what I'm saying. And I can't remember what age it happened in, but it was probably about a couple of years ago. I'm like, I love these Leon Lee fans. I love all these fans that there's fans now where they embed RGB LEDs in the edges of the fan blades, so when they spin, they can show you an image, right? Persistence of vision kind of stuff. And they're super neat, super cool. I don't know how effective they are, but I'm over that phase. I've gone over that phase. Yeah. But this system here, this guy right here only has 3 fans in it because it only needs 3. It's got a 140 mil above the hard disks or below the hard disk to blow air up. There's the 120 mil on the actual heatsink, another 140 mil on the top. All knocked to all nice. Okay, I'll stop. I don't need to advertise anymore. Let's move on, shall we? Marty, This might be a might be a short show today. All right. Where is my mouse? Why am I looking at the wrong system here? Good for me. I did want to take a minute and talk about like all the noise lately. I don't know if you guys, I know that the Discord has been having good regular conversations about it, and so have I, but like the situation with the views on YouTube being lower, it's an interesting deal. I don't want to spend too much time talking on it, but I do want to say that I too have lower views than I normally have on average. I've not seen as big of a drop as, say, some other people who have much larger channels and therefore see a greater loss of viewership. But there's a lot of scuttlebutt. What's going on? We'll see. Even though YouTube has officially come out and said, there's nothing wrong. This is all in your head. You are crazy. They're YouTube gaslighting all of its creators. Gotta love it. Anyway, let's talk about, let's move on. Because I want to talk about this guy here. I've got a video coming up really, really soon. And it's all about some Synology products, believe it or not. We talked about Synology last week about how they sound like they're going to stop putting that mandate on Synology branded drives only. So we'll still haven't heard a word about that since we talked about it last week. Okay, well, hold on. I do want to talk about this because Alexandria brought this up. I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, let me tell you what my opinions on YouTube are. I would say that if you're going to do a YouTube channel, you should do it because you have some passion that you want to share and that you're interested in it, and focus on that and try not to get wrapped up in the metrics and the things, because it takes a long time to get anywhere. This is a mature platform, and in all the wrong ways, I guess. But anyway, so maybe I think that if you want to make content and you have a passion for something like I do with the Homelab and stuff like that, you should 100% do it. 100% do it. But it's a long slog. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, and Jason said some rumblings about it being ad block driven. I'm still not sure, because it's not like people just started using ad block in early August, right? So the some of the common some of the stuff that videos I've watched basically kind of said starting around like August 10th, this happened, whatever this is. The thing is, if it was an ad block thing, then you would expect, I guess the way I look at it, you'd expect it to be like, oh, a gradual thing. Hold on. I should say first, again, officially, YouTube has said there's absolutely nothing changed. I was talking to a big YouTuber. I don't like to name drop. I was talking to a big YouTuber yesterday, and he got a tweet directly from YouTube Insider who said point blank, nothing has changed. We didn't do anything. This is seasonal. And so, I don't know. So if it is just seasonal, it's weird to have such a dramatic drop. That's all. So, Jason's Lab. Jason's Lab said, let's get in this. He said he converted 100% to Pop OS, full send, build a nice workstation for video editing in Linux and my main rig. Very nice. Jason's Lab has a YouTube channel called Jason's Lab, believe it or not. And he does some really great video work over there. Jason, I'm sure hoping you're going to make a video about that, because that's the kind of thing that people make videos about, is they're transitioning from Microsoft or Mac OS to something else. I'm still going to stay a big fan of Mac OS or something. Oh yes, the Mad Labber said, I'm going to throw it up there. I think that resonates with a lot of us. Algorithmic and shitification. I feel like I need to make that a bumper sticker. Anyway, let's I'm gonna redirect, and let's talk about some products that I've got that I'm gonna doing a review on here shortly. Let's start with the simple stuff first. So Synology is in the backup game. Do you know that? I'm gonna move this out of the way so I can see some stuff here. They sent me a box of 2 devices. They've created a new product line called their BEE. I don't know what BEE stands for other than bees, but it's a two product line. One is this little guy here. This is their BeeDrive, which is basically an external USB-C 3.2 connected device. So it's, what's that? USB-C 3.2, it's what, 10 gigabit a second at best. So probably, maybe depending on what they put in it, and I've yet to plug it in and try it out, but probably somewhere around, at best, a little over what, 1,000 megabytes a second, best case, right? Almost a gigabit a second, something like that. Anyway, so this little guy comes in a 2 and a 4 terabyte chunk. This is the other thing that they claim to have a bunch of AI stuff in this, and I mean it's a USB device. So if there's AI, this AI is happening outside, not local AI. So if you don't have AI these days, guys, then you just don't have nothing. Anyway, but their whole excuse me, their whole shtick with this is to make backup easy and local for you. And on top of that, this is the more interesting part of it. They've got this guy here, which I have one. It looks like a toaster, maybe like a single toaster. You know what I'm saying? Like a single toaster. I gotta move this down. It's a Synology device that is not replaceable. The hard drive is not replaceable. It's basically enclosed in this. So this is got some really odd and interesting aspects to it. So this is the BeeStation, this guy here. And believe you me, I plan on opening this thing up and seeing if it has the Synology branded hard drive in it or not. Like if it's actually got the Synology brand logo on the, we'll see. But this guy's big claim to fame is it's basically a NAS, but it's only for dedicated backup, with the exception of if you buy the 8 terabyte version of this, you can run Plex on it. You heard me right. They actually make a call out down here below. Excuse me for scrolling like a madman, but the 8 terabyte version has an x86 Celeron J4125 in it. The 4 terabytes got a Realtek, so it's going to be, okay. The jury's still out for me, ACP, whether or not this is e-waste or not. I am not sure where this product fits and necessarily who the user is that would be buying it, but Aragorn, yeah, that's a great question. The answer is no, but they did claim that they, when they sent me this package, that they bought me a queen bee and let it go or something like that. There's a card in it. I don't have the card anymore. Sorry. But you read through this, and if you buy the 8 terabyte version, they make mention of how do I use Plex Media Server on BeeStation Plus. So I do know that one thing is this guy does not have DSM as we know it. Yeah, Adam's got a great point. Single drive failure scares me, and it should. That's why you'd probably have to pay for their cloud service, which they offer. There's a fee for cloud service to do cloud backup of your backup system. You can let that resonate for a little bit. Man, there's just so many angles to this, but yeah. So on the back of this guy, it's got USB-C, USB-A. There's a 1 gigabit network connection on it, and so it's not gonna blow the banks off. For all intents and purposes, for most of you on this stream right now, this is not something that you would buy. You would, if you're a Synology person, you're going to buy a multi-base Synology, assuming that you can use your own drives in it. We'll see what the future holds. But this system is running something that I mean, if I was to, and I haven't started up yet, but if I was to venture a guess, it's running a very specific kind of toned down version of DSM that is more backup specific and backup focused, which I will definitely be trying out and touching on in the video. But yeah, like Adam B said in the chat, yeah, it's $410 retail for the 8 terabyte. We all know that an 8 terabyte drive is probably what, $120 on Amazon, but Synology stuff has always been ridiculously expensive comparatively, right? You look at the stuff that comes from any other NAS maker, and their hardware is always a lot cheaper than Synology, but they always have a less quality user experience. So no, I don't think it's an S. I would, if they put an SMR drive. So the Mad Labber said probably SMR. If this had a SMR drive in it, I don't know. That would hurt. That would hurt real bad right in the heart, because that would be a, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so that's something I'm gonna be working on here. Like I said, I'll start working on the video now. I want to be clear. I guess I'm gonna just take this away for a second, because I feel like this is a rich direct to you guys moment. I fully intend to, like, anytime I get hardware like this and they send me something, this is not a sponsored deal. They send out these packages to YouTubers to get it's all about media coverage, right? But I am not gonna, there'll be no butt kissing if it sucks, because that's not what it's about. So I'll be fair to them where it makes sense, but I will also be 100% critical of them where it also makes sense too, because it's and again, I'm just dying to know if that's got a Synology hard drive in it, but we'll see. So this is coming up. We should have that probably in a week or so. Mad Lever says, open it up right now. Well, you know what? I mean, let's see how this opens. I'm gonna just see if I can pull these feet off it, because it's gonna fit from the bottom. I don't want to break it though. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to find out where the peel is for this, because it's got to have a peel somewhere. Peel apart sort of deal. Anyway, I'm not gonna break it now. I will just watch me try this thing. Then I can't make the video. So anyway, but yeah, for $410, that's kind of a tough deal, right? So that's for 8 terabytes, but it's in the software. The money's in the software. That's how it always is. Oh, Aragorn says, in life, you're always kissing someone's butt. Is it ours or Synology's? My nose is always brown, I guess. No, I mean, typically inside baseball, when we get a piece of, like, we got some hardware a long time ago. This is kind of neither here nor there, but we got a piece of hardware from a networking company, and I'm not gonna name who it was, but it wasn't MikroTik. It wasn't. Anyway, we got a piece of hardware, and started working on content, because they were really, they're an up and comer, and they sent us like a switch, and they're just a bunch of stuff, right? There's like a whole bunch of cool hardware, and then it died. Like the switch had some weird, just goofy firmware problems, you know, when we got it, and then firmware updates fixed, and then we had other ones, and we had an AP that they sent that died. Anyway, long story short, I didn't even bother like trying to salvage that. I just said, you know what, I'm not going to make any content around this, because if I do that, it's like, I'm going to have to be like, this thing broke, and then the follow-on thing broke, and I'd just rather stay out of it. Like, if I don't make a video about it and I don't say things on it, then I don't have to deal with making someone angry at me. But it wasn't UniFi. I will say it was not UniFi. The audience can think about that for a while. I know there's not a whole lot. It wasn't TP-Link, because I don't want to deal with Omada. Like, that's not a thing. Unless you guys really, really, really would like to get my take on Omada, I'm just going to steer clear of it. They reach out regularly too. They do these big marketing pushes. I'm like, you know, if I'm going to do something, then yeah. But yeah, so the UniFi stuff has been good. That's running my whole place right now. The transaction of us being streamed right now over UniFi is happening through UniFi switches, and they've been great. So what can I say? So yeah, the Synology stuff is, if this was like, you know, 2-3 months ago, and this was their only option to get, you know, storage and that you wanted, I think that the world will look differently. But then after hearing that they're going to loosen up their restrictions on non-Synology drives, makes me think that, you know, the world's changing. So, but let's, I want to talk to you guys about this a little bit, because this has been, oh, Game Over Dave says, I'd switch to UniFi. All I need is money. Yeah, that's true. That's the downside. And Dave, welcome. It's good to have you in the, it's good to have you in the chat again. Yeah, Jason said, tried Omada, not a fan. I would love to know why you were not a fan of Omada. I honestly would, because, you know, that's the wrong browser window. Cool. Let's go over here. Let's go to, oh, I should type in Omada, right? Omada. I don't want the sponsored. I just want the... Cool, there we go. My bad. All right, let's look at this stuff. The thing that I hear about the Omada stuff, and I would love to enhance this so you guys could see it better. Boop. There we go. Their access points now look very similar to the brand new Ubiquiti access points, right? So, like, coming soon. Oh, that one's here. So, but I've heard that the thing about the Omada gear, and maybe you guys can. Oh yeah, that's true, Terry. TP-Link's got a lot of problems in general. Like Levick said, I don't trust TP-Link at all. And I don't know if you guys remember, I had Tom Lawrence on the show a while back, and he was telling us about how like TP-Link is, from a security perspective, they've done a bunch of shady stuff to try to avoid the responsibility of like updating their hardware by becoming a self-reporter for vulnerabilities in their software, and therefore they don't report the vulnerabilities. They don't get, but yeah. So that what I've seen and heard about the Omada stuff is that it's really pretty much a bad copy of what Unify is doing. Like, there's no innovation on their part. The hardware is, I hate to say it, but these days, for the most part, like, because there's standards for Wi-Fi, because the chipsets are made by a few companies, like, the hardware is probably fine in terms of like radio signal and strength and reach and that kind of stuff. But the software and the centralized management is really the most important part, right? So, and what did Jason say? Jason said, software had missing features, oh, that's me. He said feature switch and firmware updates would disappear before you could apply them. That's a little scary. That's not what you want. But I'm willing to bet you that the hardware itself is probably fine, but it's just I wish Unify would just sell their stack to be like installed on things, but because a lot of these things are look, this is an in-wall. Where have we seen an in-wall that looks almost identical? Oh, it's got less ports, but anyway, I'm not here to shit all over Omada. I know that I'm not gonna to take it for a test drive because it's not my bag. But let's go back to Morpheus. We talked about this last week. Well, what is Morpheus? HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Do people even call it that anymore? Why is it not logging in? Cool. Let me refresh. Oh, because it's unsafe. Okay. HPE Morpheus is a universal management platform for all virtualization and containerized. It is essentially HPE's answer to the sprawl of different virtualization platforms. Is like, oh, just have a singular console. And I've been trying so hard to get this stuff to work right. And I finally got some of it working, but not their stuff. So I can take you through this, a walk through this a little bit better today. Again, Morpheus this is probably going to change by the time I actually get the content made for it. But Morpheus's whole platform is all about, like, you want to plug in HPE's hypervisor, you want to plug in Azure's cloud stuff, you want to get in AWS. Like, their whole shtick of this is like, oh, well, you want to let's add a cloud. Well, what clouds can we add? We can add Alibaba and Amazon Cloud and Azure Public and Azure Stack, which is Azure Local. That's Hyper-V, but for Azure Local. Anyway, we can talk about that. DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, Huawei, Hyper-V, Terry, Hyper-V's in there. IBM Cloud, Mac Stadium, Nutanix. You can integrate Nutanix into this. Just a litany of other things, including their own, HP VM is what it's called, I believe, which is the HP hypervisor, which is KVM based. They call it Morpheus here. VMware, Fusion. I'm not sure why Fusion's on there because but it is what it is. And XCP&G. So I've been trying to get these all configured in here, and the best that I've been able to do so far is get XCP&G set up and properly configured. So I wanted to walk through the deployment concept with this. So if you were a business, and by the way, they have a community version of this, believe it or not, and it's what I'm using, and it's publicly available. We talked about it a few shows back too, like how weird it was to get it. Hyper-V for the win. Look at this guy. Like he's. We need. Someone needs to get him a bumper sticker for the back of his car that just Hyper-V for the win. But anyway, why is Fusion on there? Great question. Next question. I have no idea. No Proxmox, Adam. Which is interesting because if anything, if you're going to put XCP&G in there, and Proxmox also has an API that is publicly available, so why isn't Proxmox in there? That's a good question. No, I have no answer for you. It could be that they're working on it or not. It is funny that XCP&G was there when arguably I would say that these days XCP&G seems to be more of a, I don't want to set levels of expectation, but Proxmox is having a greater day in the sun than XCP&G is in the current world, right? So anyway, this is built for you to run if you are providing a service to your company, right? Or an individual who's providing services. Like the idea here is that you would do something like everything has a cost. So, you get to define your costs, and then you can add your clouds, and you could let your developers or let your people in your company or whatever manage and spin up their own VMs and control manage it from here and have this single pane of glass. By the way, as an aside, how many other people in here who are working in IT have the drinking game? Every time you hear the term single pane of glass, you have a drink. I know I do. So I'll try not to say it any more than that because it's a joke. So I've added XCP&G to this. Let's try to deploy a VM into it and see how this works. So once you've added your clouds, you can go to provisioning and instances, and this is a physical VM. This is a VM on my network that I've added because it'll also control and manage virtual machines by themselves, like directly via the OS itself. Physical hosts too. So we're going to try this and see what works. So I don't have any of these clouds added, right? So I can't really connect to them, but I do at the bottom here have XCP. Actually, let's go here. We're done. Let me see if this is the right one. Next, let's call this test on stream. And so 2004, let's add 2 gigs of RAM to it. All this information you're seeing right here is coming from the Zen hypervisor that it's connected to, which, if you're interested, is a nested hypervisor in Proxmox. So we're going deeper. So we'll go ahead and pick a storage. We'll pick the default network on the box, and we'll give it, 20 gigs is enough. I don't know if we can do thin provisioning. So essentially this is going to deploy what's the net boot. It's not called net boot though. What am I thinking of, guys? The pre-configured Linux deployment. So we're doing hostname. That's probably a terrible hostname. Let's just call it test. I can't. Okay, on stream. Test on in stream. Cool. And you can set a username and password on this thing to create my user salt. We'll do that. And let's just kick it off and see what happens. So go. You can create automation workflows and stuff like that, which I haven't done any of this stuff. Standard, threshold, default CPU, backup, built-in backup. You can do snapshots on it. Well, that's cool. There's nothing there. Anyway, fire this off. Complete. Now let's go over and look at this guy here. Refresh. I don't see. Okay, so it just kicked it off there. That was fast. Console. Okay, well it's not working like I thought there. No. I'm not sure where the image came from. I think that it must have the image from itself, but virtualization inception. So what does this say so far? Oh, look at that. Let's go back here and see if it's working. It says, let's click on it and see if we can get some information about it, shall we? Monitoring? No. How about history? All right, it says it's still deploying. not super communicative. Like that's why I had this here so we could kind of see what it was doing. I mean, it looks like it's done. 2004. Okay. Well, did it take my user and pass and move it over? Nope. Good. So that's not working. All right. So it's finalizing. So, but point being is, what I ultimately wanted to get out of Morpheus was I wanted to see what HPE's hypervisor was like, and morphed on a Celeron. This is not a Celeron. This is on an Epic. But this is on my Proxmox. This is a, it is what it is, friends. We'll see. Anyway, so I still haven't really figured out realistically what this is really all about. Like, do companies have so many different cloud deployments? And I don't just mean like a singular cloud, but do they have Azure? Do they have AWS? Do they have on-premise, to the point where they need a neutral third party to manage it all? That's the thing I don't understand, because this feels like very much like, is that showing me the one from there? Hold on. So I'm just trying to figure out what does it mean? But, and none of these, my logins don't work with this, which is great. So even though I said use my user, boom. But I'm inching through it. This has been a tough deal just to get to this point. I said 100% availability. Can you guys say that you have 100% availability? No. Anyway. The Mad Labber said, no, everybody has 3 or 4, but they don't all have the same 3 or 4. Yeah, it's an interesting, I would love to know, because obviously HPE's probably done the math, so to speak, to see that there's a lot of people out there who, a lot of companies out there with lots of different hypervisors or different clouds and private or public, and and you know, they think that they make a play for this, and maybe they can make a play for it. I brought this up last show, and I'm going to say it again. And someone had said to me, an engineer had said to me a couple of weeks back, like, he thought that someday there would just be general GUIs or management consoles that worked with everything, right? So you could choose the console and the display of what you wanted and plug it into whatever API or connection you wanted to make it happen. And Dave for the win there. And I still like that idea. I feel like what we need is, and the chat was admittedly disappointed or disagreed with me, but you guys don't think that there should just be standard consoles that you just plug in your clouds into, so you can get your Proxmox and everything all in one big pane of glass? So anyway, okay. So that's what's going on. We didn't have any questions come up, which is totally cool. It was a nice warm day in Oregon. You can see my wall back here is like well lit because the sun is just assaulting. That's the sunlight. Anyway. Okay, friends, I think we're gonna call it. Like I said, we do the Homelab gear hangout after this on the Discord. So join the Discord and hang out and talk. Something went wrong successfully, your error successfully. Join our Discord. Go do this guy if you haven't already. If you have people you want to share, get them signed up. I'd love for this to be super successful. I mean, arguably, in my mind, already is, but it's been not even halfway through, and we're already at like 50K entries, so that's awesome. Anyway, friends, we'll do this next week. And until then, I have been Rich Teslo, and you've been watching the Two Guys Tech Homelab Hour. Thanks for coming, guys, and maybe we'll see you in the Discord chat.